Are you still sick, Gabe?
Yeah, it's a surprise because I live such a healthy
I
lifestyle.
literally told you to get better, dude.
All right,
This
and then
motherfucker.
Gabe, how do you say your last name here?
Party pooper.
Party Pooper?
Yeah. No, I got cursed with a horrible last name. They're
What
just
are you
like,
talking? Your name has party in it, man. Your name rocks.
Zach.
nah, yeah.
Hi, I'm Gabe, and I like to party.
I like the party. Cooper.
Gabe, I don't think you've taken enough advantage of your last name. You know, we've done Goob, we've done Goobriel, we've done all that, but you got party. You could be King Koopa.
King
Like, there's
Koopa.
so much you can do.
No. My screen name is usually G Koopa, which I think is
G
just fun.
Koopa.
G
G
Koopa.
Koopa. You
Yeah.
gotta pull the legs off of G Koopa.
OG Koopa, maybe a little bit.
OG Koopa. I like that. I like that. I did have a little poopy gang for a while. I got I
Poopy.
base. Yeah, this is a weird story. This can go in the pod, or if you want to, it's all up to you. But I made edibles one time on a dare for a
Nice.
school trip, and then because you're on edibles on a school trip, you're like, dude, this
Oh
is
yeah.
some thug shit. We're a gang. We're the poopy gang. So
On no way. What kind of trip was it? Like,
this
what
was
subject in
this was
school?
this was a concert choir trip.
Oh my god!
So I was going around Chicago in cathedrals, high off my ass, singing for people, and it was great because I went to all kinds of. I went to a very I went to the University of Chicago. It's an important business school, and
Dude, I don't know if I got high, I'd want a bunch of saints looking down at me.
I was having a great time.
The fast track
I-
to real divinity, you know.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you're high as fuck in a church, and you're just like, I'm vibing with Christ right now.
not something you'd ever expect, but yeah, good vibes with the old JC.
Right? Just some good old wholesome Catholic fun. Well, with that, we let's jump right into it. Welcome everybody to Cinema Span. I am your host, Louis Hilligus IV. This season, we are covering the films of 2007. Today, I've got two of the hosts of the Critericast. We've got Gabriel Pardekooper, and we've also got Humanities' Last Hope, AJ Bouland.
Goddamn right.
I'm so preconditioned to go woo because I do that for every one of our guests. So it's
Oh, right. Every time you're introduced, you're like, oh shit.
Woo!
yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have I feel like a structure with how I bring this in. I always just kind of throw it at the wall. Like I haven't announced the titles yet.
Let's not.
That's what
Let's
I'm
let them
Yeah.
guess. Make them guess what movie
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that you haven't seen the title of this podcast.
No, this is the mystery box episode. We're not doing
I mean-
any cover art, no title. Don't
Yeah.
even put that word guess on it.
If they're listening to this at that point, they'd have read the title, so they'll know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, you could clearly see from the posters behind us. I guess there's 5 posters to pick from here.
Mine's just a literal picture of the sun. You don't know what movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, this could just be any hentai above me. I should ask Lewis, what is not off limits? Because I'm very much
No,
so.
I think everything's on limits.
Hell yeah.
Everything? Oh, okay. Let me pull out my hot take book.
Whatever makes good content, at the end of the day, right? Isn't that the right
So
motto?
fucking true. So
Yeah.
fucking true.
We were reaching hard last week. We were just like, what like we were like AJ was rapid firing, like, okay, what's on Twitter right now?
And I would try to work it in to the topic very loosely. Be like, yeah, house. It kind of reminds me how Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. What if they were in a haunted house?
I feel like you should have talked about the House of Representatives.
Oh
Fuck.
my god.
Yep.
We need to get political. We haven't gotten political on our show. We try to be apolitical. We want to appeal to both sides.
I feel like most, I don't know, movie, it's like cinephiles kind of have a political alignment already, right? For the most
Yeah, we're the first socialist film podcast about the Criterion Collection.
I like to consider myself dirtbag left for sure. Check it out. I'm always repping the squad. Squad represent.
full Democrat house.
I'm a cinephile first and foremost.
Democrat second.
Democrat would be 57th.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, today we are talking about Sunshine. This is directed by Danny Boyle. How do you guys, and written by Alex Garland, that's definitely worth mentioning. You guys like Danny Boyle?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Um,
Good
I'm not
kisser.
too, yeah.
I don't know. I've seen like all of the major Danny Boyles. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore. Like I've seen Train Spotting, Sunshine,
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I've unfortunately seen Yesterday as well. I just watched 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah.
Actually pretty solid. That was also co-written by Alex Garland, also stars Cillian Murphy. I mean, what he also did 127 Hours. Steve.
Oh,
Jobs.
I've seen that. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's directed a lot of movies that people have seen, but they wouldn't be able to identify him as the director.
Well,
He
yeah,
did Steve Jobs too,
yeah,
right?
you got me to a queue because like I needed all those to be like actually know who Danny Boyle was and what I've seen because I was a big fan of 28 Days Later. That was my introduction to Killian.
Yeah, I again, I hadn't seen it till this morning, but I think it's actually really, really well told, and it weirdly has an empathetic touch for like such
For a zombie movie.
film, yeah. But all of his
Yeah.
films have like a really soft touch to them.
Yeah, he is playful with his editing, which can be like goofy and annoying, like in Yesterday, or like this, where the frantic cutting like adds to the suspense and builds tension.
Yeah,
I would say that was consistent in 28 Days Later too. From what I recall, it's been a couple of years now. It's got very sharp editing with regards to like movement of the main character.
definitely, and like he's able to bring you to those soft places so that when he brings in the horror, it's that much more shocking. I feel like having a steady hand on tone is definitely something that's pretty underrated in most directors. And the tone of this film, I mean, I feel like it's pretty solid until the third act. I think that gets a little.
Oh, are you one of those? Are you gonna be one of those?
No. I'm just saying that it's interesting. Like it feels like a pretty hard left turn, but it also I don't think it ruins the film necessarily.
No, I can respect that take. I get it. I don't agree. I'm a third act defender. I'm going down. I only saw Sunshine very recently, but I've heard about it. Podcast people. I listen to the movie reviews, stuff like that.
Right.
They all love Sunshine, and they're always like, "But then the third act," and I was like, "Okay, I heard it sucks." And I watched it, and I was like, "Yeah, there's definitely." I don't think it's as good as like the first two, like kind of slow building acts, but also it's a whole. You would judge a movie as a whole, and I don't know. I still thought it was fun.
I think it works as a ride altogether. I mean, just talking about the plot real briefly here. This is about a ship full of spacemen who are humanity's last hope. The sun is dying. They're basically going to drop off a payload to try to reignite the sun again. Along the way, they kind of discover that there's the first ship that failed is orbiting the sun. And so they attempt to reconnect with this ship. Yeah, and then I mean we can get into the nitty gritty of it all, but that third act twist is that there's one guy left on that ship, and he kind of it tips us into like a slasher actually, because he starts taking down each member of the ship.
Yeah, he literally does just like start stabbing them. That part I thought you could have maybe, I don't know, used some sun powers or something, that because he just goes around just stabbing them.
I thought too, because like they were dropping so many psychological elements around it that it was going to be more of a test of the psyche of everyone on the ship, but now it just kind of became stabbing.
Yeah, I will say, Danny Boyle, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I feel like you could have maybe done another pass on the third act instead of him just be like, "Oh, I'm super strong, lifting people, stabbing them." Like, I don't know, like, because the first two acts, I don't know how well researched they are, but they seem like smart and well researched, and then this is just like, oh, I guess he's Michael Myers now.
I will say one thing that I thought was a really smart move, because this is a very science fiction movie, is I didn't get too bogged down in details about the payload and about like how things work on the spacecraft. I appreciate when science fiction knows its limits and doesn't try to like make a guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it feels like a very like lived in world. Like they've been on this ship for over a year now, right? It's like 18 months.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they've talked about all this stuff before. They're not going to be like the payload, which does blah blah blah,
Yeah.
science term that AJ doesn't know. They're like, it's the thing we're going to put it in the sun. You know what we're talking about? The oxygen room. It's the one plants. You get the idea.
Yeah, it's definitely taking its world building from like the Alien universe, where they're just treating this as more of a workplace, trying to take everything seriously, but also not try to be like, look how smart we are with our screenplay. I kind of like how practical it is in that way.
Yeah, Gabe, you're the Alien guy here. What's your take on its relation to like Alien and as an homage or?
So I think I think how the antagonist what was his name again? I'm forgetting the. Anyways, the antagonist of the film, the guy that survived on Icarus One, felt reminiscent to the Alien in that he dwelled in shadows. He wasn't always well framed. Even when he was like center focus, he wasn't like.
Yeah, you literally never see him fully.
No. Yeah, Pinbacker.
I think that was kind of the Alien inspiration. Although I will say for more visual stuff, or at least for like the whole science fiction vibe, this whole like Odyssey in space, obviously is kind of like a 2001. I think that's a very big inspiration for the journey itself. But the antagonist seems to be inspired by Alien, and so does like how people interact in the ship. They're like, yeah, we got a fucking job to do. I'm a scientist, but I'm not going to try to like show off that I'm a scientist.
Yeah. And also, I think the order in which people are dying in this film, like, the captain sacrifices himself pretty early on, which kind of shuffles around the priorities of what you're thinking in your head, right? In a very Ripley-esque way, right? Ripley is the last one to survive an alien, but yeah, it's kind of.
Then it's Cillian Murphy in this one.
Yeah,
bright eyes, brightest fucking eyes I've ever seen. That kid, oh my god.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy. I feel like, man, what you guys? How do you like him? You guys have Oppenheimer.
I love Cillian. Who the fuck doesn't like Cillian Murphy?
I like Cillian. I think he's been good in everything I've seen him in, at least.
Yeah, I think he's pretty underrated, honestly. I mean, we've kind of, I feel like that's been the discussion going around this year, is that he really can lead a movie. Especially this, like I do wonder if Nolan saw him playing a physicist here and just saw him like weighing the morality of like the whole crew, and if he.
Oh, I bet Christopher Nolan thinks this movie is sick.
He's got it, right?
Yeah. He's definitely got the DVD. Apparently, the DVD that doesn't play right. He's definitely got that on a shelf somewhere. He's like, I really like Sunshine. It's one of my favorites. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Nolan really should be like the fifth Beatle.
Yes, he fits that criteria. Imagine Nolan just jamming on the bass guitar, playing like the sitar.
Yeah, Paul wouldn't even be upset that he's like taking over bass. You're like,
no,
better than I am.
Now, I was going to say this about the cast, though, because we were talking about Cillian, is that this has got to be the hottest group of astronauts I've ever seen. Like, I know that's just the Hollywood effect, but I was like, man, these scientists are hot. Couldn't they find like one frumpy scientist?
They try with Chris Evans at the beginning, right?
Yeah, try.
They give him this long like haircut, and not even it's a really bad wig, but it's showing him being all shaggy. Yeah, Chris Evans is in an interesting place in 2007. This is the same year that the second Fantastic Four movie comes out.
Yeah,
better than the first. What do we think?
The Silver Surfer, dude. My God,
I haven't seen it in a long time. But
are you gonna cover the Fantastic Four 2 movie?
Yeah, I put it with I think Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider 2. It's one of the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Lewis, I swear to God, if you cover those movies before like fucking There Will Be Blood,
I probably will.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's gonna be upsetting.
There Will Be Blood, I feel like, is a nice like finale, like towards the end. But
okay, I guess if you're building, it's gonna be that with No Country, right?
Yeah, that was the thought. But they're so big, you could really split them up, and throw some other.
Yeah. Or do your shortest episode ever. Just do a quickie.
Honestly, why not? Right? They're basically the same film.
You could jam pack this shit right before like Old Country, like so it could be the Fantastic Four 2, and then like what was it, Ghost Rider, and then follow that up with like
10 minutes on No Country. A little triple. I mean, Alvin and the Chipmunks is '07, so no.
The first or the Squeakquel?
I think it's the first. Yeah. If
Do you know I saw the first Alvin and the Chipmunks 3 different times in theaters?
that sounds about right. How old were you?
I was 14. I don't know. How old was I? 2007. How old were we, Gabe?
You must have been 9 or 8. I was 8.
Yeah, I would have been probably 9 because I think it was a Christmas release, right? This is our Alvin and the Chipmunks episode now. Actually, we're not talking about Sunshine.
Yeah, I was 11. That was a formative movie, though. It's upsetting how big of a hold it had on the culture.
I used to check the iTunes charts daily to see if the album was still in the top 10. I was going hard for the first Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I really don't know why.
It's terrible. I mean, we had never heard a pitched up, voice like that.
Yeah, America wasn't the same before Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It was 2001 and Alvin and the Chipmunks that changed the trajectory of America forever.
I mean, it was a step up from Kids Bop, right? So you were like, okay, like it's got to be good. Anyways, this is a great cast. We also have like Michelle Yeoh in here. A lot of just like thankless little roles. Benedict Wong is in here.
No small roles, just small actors.
Really, but it's nice because I feel like they bring the weight to the situation.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Also, this movie got lucky that like almost all of their cast members went on to become way more famous.
Absolutely, because it was a bomb when it came out.
It was a payload.
It was a payload. Is there a name for the payload, or is it just the payload?
Yeah, they don't really. Do they say like Susie or like old boy?
Oh, okay. I thought you were like they implied it's a nuclear armament, so I'm guessing it's got to be like big guy,
fat man, little boy.
We should not be the guys who name stuff in movies. Not pretty bad.
You could do the Leviathan or like Gargantuan.
Who else is in this cast? We got Chris Evans, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Rose Byrne, fucking Rose Byrne.
Yep.
I've met her. I've stood behind her for several hours.
Really?
Yeah, I was an extra on her Apple Plus show that they didn't know the title of. They were still deciding.
Is it Spirited, right?
No, it's not Spirited. It's a show. It's about like fitness. I don't know. It looks really fucking boring, but I was placed right behind her in the episode at an expo. So if I'm cut out, know that that's bullshit. I should be in frame. I don't know if I'm in focus. I don't know what lenses they were using, but I was on that for 3 days, and I met her as much as you can meet a celebrity. Like they will acknowledge at least you're in the room.
Yeah, that's more than I could say.
More than I can say, yeah.
How'd she smell?
How'd she smell?
Right? Isn't that? I'm assuming you couldn't talk to her, but you probably walked by.
I was just taking a big old whiff.
So I have a little funny celebrity story. If you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work in this little like rib shack in Iowa, and apparently I met Luke Combs on accident at the rib shack. Me being the avid country music fan, I didn't recognize him. I just gave him some ribs and walked away.
Honestly, based. That's how most celebrity interactions are supposed to go.
Yeah, here's your food, and I'm gonna go back to the front.
Yeah, one time Carly Rae Jepsen came up to me and she was like, "Where's my trailer?" And I just went, "I don't know." I just turned away from her. And only after she started walking, I was like, "Who's that tiny, tiny woman?"
Were you a PA on that?
Yeah.
Did you just look like a PA standing in the right place?
No, I was a PA. I got the job like 6 hours before I had to be there. No background check, nothing. Okay, the listeners, come to Hollywood. It's easy as hell to get PA jobs. Like, there's no background check whatsoever. It took more effort to get a job at a grocery store than to work with one of the biggest pop stars of all time. All time. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much thankless PA work that they're so desperate. It's like worse than temp work sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm not talking about my cool Hollywood friends. We're talking about Sunshine.
So there's a lot of fun stuff in the production design of this film. The ship's really well built, but it's not too futuristic. Like it feels within reach. I love the waking nightmares that Cillian Murphy has. He's talking about it with Rose Byrne's character Cassie, where they both have these dreams of like falling into the sun. I mean, it's a great it's a great setup that's later fulfilled when Kappa actually is hurling towards the sun with the payload. But it's also a really great buildup of just how the sun is psychologically affecting everyone on the ship. I think that's
the fucking sunroom where
Yeah.
yeah, the sunroom is awesome. That like everyone supposedly like wants to go and look at the sun, you know? It's like reaffirming your mission almost, right?
I do not blame them. Fully seeing that room, I was like, I would hang out in there like all day.
Oh yeah.
I totally
Yeah,
get it. If I could be that close to the sun, like what is it, 2% of the sun?
Exactly. Yeah, 3.1% for like 30 seconds is like is the amount of the sun you can handle.
Oh, I would be inching up I would try to build my tolerance to the sun.
Edging towards
Dude,
more
like-
exposure on the sun.
I'll get to 15% of the sun.
That's gonna be the most vitamin D you can get in one sitting. Is just go there in that room for a second and be like, all right, that's my vitamin D for the week. Peace.
Yeah, you're just like purposely dehydrating yourself so you can like watch more sun, get more.
Honestly, none of the people on this ship look like they got any sun. Everyone, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real, they're all hotties, but they do not look healthy. They look like they haven't slept well in over a year and that they haven't showered in days.
Yeah, I mean they were shooting in England, so that probably was
That makes sense.
That's what did it.
Get their
That's
ass, Lewis. Yes.
That's what did it.
Get them.
I mean, they're on a strict diet of beans and toast, so you know, yeah. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, it's a wonder this film got made with all the tea breaks. Am I right?
I don't know. God save the queen.
Yep. Yeah. How do you guys like the space stuff? Like with all the
Hate it. Hate the space stuff.
space stuff, you hate it?
I like sunshine except for the parts that are in space.
Well, it's-
Oh, everything's cool in this movie. I really dug this. Everything fucking rocks. Like the way they film the inside of the helmets while they're out in space.
I know. Yeah, I was thinking about the helmets too because you know Iron Man's the next year and they like obviously feel like they invented the inside the helmet shot, but this is infinitely more interesting than anything they do over there. And like usually they're like showing other people's faces right next to the astronauts' faces. It's really cool stuff.
Lewis, have you seen this in theaters?
No, I have not. This is the type of film that I would wait to see it in theaters, you know, like traditionally. I'm really glad I just, you know,
Because I'm just like imagining this in a theater. Like this movie would overstimulate me, especially the helmet shots. I'd just be like, I can't breathe.
I saw Gravity in 3D like IMAX last year, and that was a really cool experience. I feel like the darkened room really helps with just feeling immersed with a space film fully. Especially,
Have you ever seen in 4DX, Lewis?
4D. I've never seen a 4DX screening. Have you done any 4DX?
That surprises me. No, you would have been the one who I would have thought of all the people I know to have done 4DX before.
I should have done it for like Oppenheimer for like my 6th screening or something stupid like that.
Yeah, you were an Oppenheimer fiend this summer. Every time I went on Letterboxd, I just saw Lewis saw Oppenheimer again.
Yep. I just kept taking people, you know, and like there's a point where I was like, I don't even really need to see this again, but like
You just close your eyes at that point.
yeah, you know. I'm like, all right. It's just like I think some films you need more time in between screenings, you know, before you can really
Yeah, like The Flash.
more depth, you know.
Dude, I was so upset. I tried to drag people off to Barbie and no one wanted to go with me.
Damn, that is rough.
I know.
Upsetting
They're
that
all
no one saw Barbie either.
Well, it's a hard realization because like I realized all my friends were not cool, and I was like, God damn.
Gabe was out there. He was worried about the box office. He's like, guys, this is an important film. We need to go see it. And you really tried your best, but
Tried my best.
Sucks that it belly flopped.
Flopped. Yeah, my clout just couldn't quite do it.
Did you see it though? Did that stop you from going to see it?
No, I saw it. Obviously, yeah.
We saw it. Listen to the Barbie Oppenheimer episode on Critericast, please.
I have listened to it.
It's one of our worst, but listen to it.
Yeah. Let me see what else I got here, boys.
That's about it, right? Not much else to say.
I think we're pretty good.
Good. I'm gonna talk for like 2 hours on the Mist.
Yeah, right. I will say though, I think Mark Strong gives a really I didn't want to say strong. Mark Strong gives a really solid performance.
Solid sounds like a
Just like-
tapered response.
You just keep going with synonyms for strong. Like
He gives a hunky performance, I'll say it. But yeah, that's great. It's consider you literally never see his face. He's silhouette acting for most of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to plug. He's in a really good filmed theatrical production of Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge. Just a deep cut for anyone out there. I would put that on your watch list, though.
A view what?
A View from the Bridge.
A View from the Bridge.
It's one of those stories of a family falling apart, and he's just kind of like the center of the household, trying to hold it all together. But,
yeah, all of these images on Google are of people like hugging and crying.
Yeah, it was performed at the National Theater Live, so they always do these really extensive filmed productions and put them into theaters and stuff. So it's worth seeking out. It's the rare theater plug on the film show, but have to do it.
You had a pretty lengthy theater discussion on your Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, I did. You're a big musical head. I mean, do you have any songs?
Don't tell the people that.
Dude, come on. I know you look cool, but like, you are.
Yeah, I love a good musical. I think it's a great use of the art form, heightened as much. It's like one of those, I think, in terms of like what you can do with film, pretty much like a cartoon musical, you're using the most assets of filmmaking to make that. So yeah, I love a good musical. Sunshine's not a musical, but one of the least like musical movies. Like they're pretty chill, subdued. There's no moment. Maybe when they're looking at the sun, they could break into song. But other than that,
do you think you can make a musical out of this? If you
can make a musical out of fucking anything. There's a musical about like not being able to pee. Like musicals are not hard. I'm sorry, people like, make musicals all the time.
I already thought of Here Comes the Sun. You know, like
my God,
Here Comes the Sun. Do.
No more Danny Boyle Beatles jukebox musicals. Putting it into it. Fuck Yesterday.
Yesterday is so bad. Yesterday is just offensive to watch at times, honestly.
You know what? Also, I realized it's not even the only movie where the Beatles don't exist.
Wait, what?
Are you serious?
Literally, like Across the Universe. That's a movie where the Beatles never existed.
Oh yeah, that's 2007.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Who cares? The Beatles never existed. I don't know. We'd have other music. I'm not gonna be like the Beatles aren't even that good, but like realistically, would the world change? Also, that movie has the funniest ending. He uploads all of his songs for free. Gabe, have you seen Yesterday?
No, I know the plot synopsis because you've like moaned about it to me.
I've definitely yelled about Yesterday, like just in real life to you. Yeah. So most of what I'm saying you've probably heard, and you're just gonna be like, oh, whatever. But yeah, Yesterday ends with the lead character uploading all the songs for free, and I swear to God, I've only seen it once, but I swear to God, there was like an iPad with just a big button that said upload, and he just like presses it. He's like, music should be for free, and that's the message, I guess.
That's a stupid ass message. Like artists shouldn't be compensated for their creations. Nice one, dude.
Also, the original like script for that was just a lot better, where it was like about like he's the only guy who remembers the Beatles, but he's unable to replicate the success because he doesn't have the same context that they had. Or
it seems really depressing.
Well, it does seem depressing, but honestly, I feel like that makes more sense. Like the idea that like there's a lot of great artists out there who just never get discovered, or you know the way the apparatus, you know the music system works, they're just not going to let them in.
Well, I can see that being like a nice indie movie, like a Sing Street or something of that level, but you never get that if you got to pay for Beatles music, so you're gonna get like big productions. Yesterday was fucking everywhere. I swear to God, that summer I would see ads for Yesterday all over the place.
No, I remember the ad campaign for sure because it was on every YouTube video you'd ever watch.
I mean, you got the Beatles, like you're gonna use their songs to advertise.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Or they could do like that one David Bowie musical where they don't get the rights to the songs.
Wait, what? Fill me in on
Yeah,
this one.
there's like an unofficial David Bowie musical where they couldn't get the rights to any of his songs, so they just don't use any David Bowie music.
Yeah, that's you're not talking about Velvet Goldmine, right?
Maybe. No, wait, no. It's like
That's like
genuinely
a
it's they say David Bowie, but like they just can't use his songs.
Well,
I
that's
gotta look it up.
Oh God.
Biopic. We're talking about Sunshine.
Yeah, we definitely are talking about.
I
mean-
feel bad. I come on your podcast and I just derail it all the time. Like I know how hard it is to stay on track.
Honestly,
and to try to make content.
I feel like I do have more to say about The Mist being the film that we liked less than this one. You know, that's almost always the case. It's like you just riff about good films a little bit.
It's like, yeah, how do you describe a flower? Like, yeah, it's beautiful. It's great. It does everything it should. It was a good time. I'm sure there's other stuff we could say, but I'm sleepy.
Exactly.
The movie is called Stardust, by the way. Stardust. They could not get the rights to Ziggy Stardust, I guess. So they just called it Stardust, which I think means cocaine also.
Hey, yeah, I thought this sounded familiar because this is not off topic. This is an 2007 film.
We're like layers deep in terms of our riffs right now.
Wait,
we're gonna build it back.
Wait, this movie is about David Bowie? I thought it was supposed to be like a fantasy film.
Yeah,
which one are you looking at?
This is based on a Neil Gaiman thing. I think I'm looking at the wrong Stardust.
Yeah, the Stardust came out in 2020.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
I was like, this weird fantasy film with Robert De Niro? Wait, did you cover this, Lewis? This is 2007.
No, I haven't. It's on the list.
You cover True Kino, like the fuck. I couldn't think of the Dane Cook movie. What was the one you just covered?
Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks.
I mean, what? I mean, if we're talking other 07 here, Cillian Murphy is in a rom-com that comes out this year.
Which one?
Wait, what?
So it's called Watching the Detectives. So Lucy Liu is the love interest in this film.
Hot.
I'll read the log line though. Neil, a self-proclaimed film geek and owner of Gumshoe Video, has to live vicariously through his favorite film noirs. But when he makes a real life femme fatale, his mundane world gets turned upside down. And the movies quickly begins to blur.
This sucks.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to get something to blow my nose with.
What if like a person who really liked movies got to like live out the movie? What if a person whose whole personality is liking movies, like what if they also got like a girlfriend?
I wouldn't be surprised if like Tarantino wrote this as well. Or somebody probably just saw True Romance and then was like, holy shit.
Somebody definitely did. I'm looking up the director. He often works with Broken Lizard. Oh, that's a comedy troupe. I was like,
is it a band? What is that?
He did like Super Troopers, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, those. I think he didn't even direct those. So I think he like wrote them or something.
Oh wait, yeah, he just acted in those.
Yeah, there's a notorious film is the Dukes of Hazzard, the remake. My God.
Is that
what
Johnny Knoxville and Sean?
When you finally cover 2005, have us on for the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Okay. Deal.
That was like one of those films I watched like several times. I had no good reason to, but I was just so bored.
Yeah, I feel like that happens when you're stuck watching what's on Comedy Central. Or VH1 that week.
Like TNT. I was gonna say both of these movies we're talking about today are like they have the vibe of major TNT movies.
TNT, yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Especially the fucking Mist. That is a TNT movie, and I mean that negatively.
No, that or a sci-fi movie. It could find its way on the sci-fi.
Oh, that would be a fucking. That would be. Yeah. Oh, that'd be sci-fi. That's what I call it.
Original, like for
sure.
Oh
yeah.
Fuck the Mist.
With these special effects, definitely.
Christ, yeah.
Sunshine.
Should we take a quick break here and go right in?
Yeah, Sunshine's great. You should watch it. Watch it. Don't watch the Mist.
Don't watch the Mist.
You keep listening to the episode. Don't watch the Mist though. We'll paint a vivid enough picture that you won't feel the need to.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Doodle-doo, 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 scoo-doo, boo-doo-doo, ba. Cinema Span is brought to you by
MeUndies. The
by
only underwear.
Raycon.
I know. Would you guys take? I mean, you would probably.
Oh
take
yeah.
Thing that came.
Oh
to.
yeah.
I would. Yeah, whoever wants to advertise on us, hit us up.
Yeah. Dude, if
That's
Al Qaeda hit us up with a sponsorship, we'd take it.
You're like, it only runs for like 90 days, right? Then I take it out.
Yeah, we would have fun riffing on like an ISIS promo ad.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to relate that to the movies we're talking about. So come and see. Maybe you should come and see the Greater Middle East with our scholarship program.
Come and see the light of Allah.
Come and see the one true way.
Come and see Mecca.
Imagine, yeah, they just they just pay us to talk about converting to Islam.
No, I had a friend that I worked with for a while who was Islamic, and they're like, yeah, Gabe, you make a pretty good Muslim. And I'm like, yeah, I think I would. I like shaving my head. It's all good. I can go to Mecca.
Dude, I had this customer once this customer was asking about like aioli. He was like, but he couldn't pronounce it, so he's like, could I get the Allah on the side? And I said, Allah is never on the side. He is always with you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
You know what I just watched recently? And I just watched the Kingdom of Heaven, which is a really good film if you ignore the main character, which is Orlando Bloom.
Oh my God.
Orlando Bloom.
What era is this?
This is 2000s. I think it's like
Elizabeth.
No, I think this is right in the midst of Pirates of the Caribbean 2. But I think it's like 2005.
We named the Monkey Jack. That's a little reference for your faithful Cinema Span listeners. All right, I need to change my background to the Mist.
Yes, sir. Yes, you do.
The Mist.
The Mist.
The Mist.
The Mist.
More like a swing and a mist.
That's a pretty good. Pretty good. Oh my God.
I like that. I have another. This wasn't my favorite face. I'll show you what my favorite facial expression this dude made was.
What? How did you find that?
I literally caught it as it was happening. It made me start laughing.
Eggs, right? Like rope.
This is him when he's like slamming the door because the mist is gonna get in.
Oh, okay. The first door slam. Yeah.
Because I think me and AJ watched it the same day. He's like, "Hey, send me screen grabs," and I got so disappointed so quickly I forgot to do it. I was like, "Oh, God damn it!"
I did get pretty demoralized by this film pretty early on.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, let's.
Are we talking about that?
Into this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cinema Span. We are talking The Mist today. This is directed and written by Frank Darabont. It's adapted from a Stephen King novel.
The Mist, the Mist, the Mist. Your fans have been clamoring for this episode, right? Like they've been, when are we gonna get to the Mist?
Everyone's been wondering what's in the Mist, and if my opinions, will be unsure.
Your missed opinions.
Missed opinions.
You missed all of the shots you don't take. Mist.
All right. Well, I'll do a little intro here on Frank Darabont. He is probably known for adapting some of the most famous Stephen King stories outside of The Shining. And I don't know, what else is really big?
The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, Carrie. But yeah, he did The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, The Mist. These are like his three big studio feature adaptations of Stephen King works. And he also did a student film.
Yeah, there's actually something interesting. I found out looking it up. It's like $1 production or something that Stephen King has where like student filmmakers and amateur filmmakers can buy the rights to one of his short stories for $1.
Yep. They can't like go and release it,
yeah, they can't put it on YouTube or anything, but they can like put it in festivals. They can use it for their class that just can't profit off of it, and they can't say like Stephen King's.
Exactly, which is a bit upsetting because like I actually want to watch these. You can like see a Wikipedia article that's got like a solid list of like 20 or so of these.
I think it said they included them on the Mist DVD, so sadly none of us will ever see it.
No, no.
Yeah. But it is a cool idea because Stephen King just has a fuck ton of stories to adapt.
Jesus, yeah.
And I mean, this is an interesting one because I just it's so it opens with our main character who's painting. And
Is he really painting? I do not believe that man painted that picture.
So
he is waving a paintbrush over a pre-painted picture.
He absolutely is.
That painting he was doing in the beginning, though, that was a reference to Dark Tower, another Stephen King book.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the gunslinger, the titular
Dark Tower,
gunslinger.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I saw the Dark Tower.
Connects all of King's works. Gabe, have you read it? Yeah, I mean, because
I've given it.
You take the lead then on that because I just know Wikipedia summary of it.
So it's been a hot minute. I think I said I've read it. I read the first chapter. There's so many books I pick up and put down. There's so many books, especially with Stephen King. Like I got the
synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I saw the movie. Does that make me more of an expert than someone who read the first chapter?
Yeah. You probably
How did the scales weigh? Yeah, I saw the movie. It was a double feature with the Emoji Movie. I did not pick this screening. It was a friend of mine who was like, dude, we should go on a double date to a movie drive-in. I was like, yeah, cool. And then the only one he could make was the Emoji Movie and the Dark Tower. So I watched those back to back. Don't remember much from either of them other than that they stunk.
Well, the Dark Tower film adaptation had Matthew McConaughey in it, didn't it?
Yeah, it was Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba, and some annoying fucking kid.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but it's essentially the important stuff here is that like in the Dark Tower, each floor is like a different universe in King's like stories.
Wait, what? Each floor is floors. So like there's an it floor. There's just a floor where clowns running around.
I think that's the idea. It's like it's like a multiverse or something where you're just hopping through different bits, but there's layers of mist in between each one.
Yeah, well, it seeps through.
So where all the creatures lay, and that's I guess what's going on here is that the mist has just gotten out of one of these areas.
So wait, that brings up a pretty big question because isn't in the Stephen King It universe, isn't it like they're on the turtle's back or some sort? Isn't that part of that book? So
yeah,
I don't know if I can.
If you say so, man.
I don't know. I think I've heard that.
You know,
before.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I don't put it past Stephen King writing that in. I know. No, it's got the like gangbang scene, right?
Yeah, that's got the prepubescent gangbang, which is
okay. 100%, I buy that turtle thing then.
Yeah. Well, that just raises the question: is one of the floors the turtle floor?
It probably is like or maybe the whole tower's on the turtle's back.
Okay. And then it's at the bottom.
I love Stephen King's mind. He goes from like weird out there stuff like that to just like, what if a dog was evil?
Exactly. It's either the most basic primal stuff or it's literally like, how did he get to point Z here?
Yeah. Cocaine, that's how we got these points.
Absolutely.
He was doing a lot of cocaine.
Props. We need more authors on cocaine so we can get more books. I'm talking about you, George R.R. Martin.
Yeah,
I think that would stop his heart.
Yeah, that would kill that man immediately.
What does George R.R. Martin need to finish?
He needs a longer life.
Any actual ideas?
Apparently, I mean, every single one of the books is kind of loosely based on like English or German like history. So I think he ran out of history. He's like, oh shit, I got to do this from like imagination. God damn it.
Oh right, yeah. Like he's like, there's no mythological kings to adapt from.
Yeah,
he just adapts World War II, but with Game of Thrones.
the White Walkers come in with like M60s. They're like, all right, motherfuckers, we got the ice guns.
Paratroopers into the North Kingdom or whatever. I've never watched Game of Thrones.
No, yeah, that's the one book I've actually been able to finish, and it's bizarrely one of the longer ones.
All right. I'm gonna bring us back here to the plot. So our main character, our main character, played by Thomas Jane. His name's David. Because
Sure, if you say so.
I didn't have to pull that up.
His name is Man.
But yeah, so this basically the film starts with a huge hurricane hitting this small town in Maine, where most of Stephen King's novels are set, either in the tower or in the state of Maine.
Wait, is the tower in Maine or is Maine in the tower?
Don't ask me, man. I've never read Dark Tower.
Are there several like floors of Maine?
I think floor 1 is the supermarket here, and like floor 2 is the suburbs.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, David's house is hit by a tree in the middle of the night, kind of tears through this painting he's working on. Also in the painting room, what you can see, like you can see The Thing. They're all done by this famous artist named Drew Struzan, who like also did the Philosopher's Stone painting, and just like a lot of classic film portraits. But yeah, his house is hit and the painting's ruined. He has like a line early on talking to his wife where he's like, they're just gonna replace me with CG probably.
Timely.
It's like, damn, man. Like, yeah. Definitely a lost art, but so Frank or David basically, David sees that this tree is like fallen over and busted up his boathouse, so he goes over to his neighbor, who's played by Andre Braugher. He's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you guys have ever seen that.
I have. Does he play like the sergeant, right?
Sergeant, yeah, the main sergeant in that. He's also in Fantastic Four this year as like a general.
Wait, there's a new Fantastic Four coming out?
I'm sorry, in 2007.
We're in the year 2007 right now, where this is where we're podcasting from. That's the bit. We're all in character, Gabe. This will be cut.
Sure.
Yeah, there's not enough R words going on for this to be 2007.
That's the first cultural reference you pick from 2007, Gabe.
Pretty much. That's
not even like, the election.
Hey, it's not Party Like a Rock Star.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Let's get it started. It's hot.
So but basically you find out there's some bad blood between these neighbors, but they Andre Bauer's car is basically broken, so he asked to get driven into town. Then basically David packs up his son, his neighbor, they go into town, into this grocery store, and the mist rolls in pretty quickly. Like a guy running in who's like, what did he say? He's like,
the mist.
Like, something's in the mist. He's like, something in the mist took Jason Lee or John Lee.
Yeah, Jason Lee would be different. So wait, is the hurricane related to the mist, or is that just like they just so happened to happen at the same time?
I feel like it's got to be like something blew up in the factory or whatever testing site that like the shit was wherever they were wherever the mist was contained, right?
Area 52 or something weird, like like the off-brand
in
Area
a box.
51.
You let the mist out of the box.
It blew up, and the wind started moving and changing, something like that. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
Do hurricanes in Maine a lot? Is that a thing?
Like on the eastern seaboard for sure, but I don't know about Maine.
Maybe like part of another floor seeped into that part and it caused a hurricane.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
This is definitely the hurricane is the most baffling part of this film.
That we need to get to the bottom of this. What is a hurricane?
So they get us pretty quickly to the supermarket here, and then most of the film takes place in the supermarket where everyone's just arguing about what to do about the mist, whether there's stuff out in the mist or not.
Dude, speaking about the supermarket, what an interesting set to take place in. The entire film about these big Leviathan sea monsters, and we're in a supermarket.
Yeah, they're just big glass windows.
Glass windows are great because one, for all the visibility, but two, like I think halfway through the movie you realize like how unsturdy they are as cover. And
Oh, you mean the glass windows aren't sturdy against these tentacle monsters?
yeah, they're like, oh wait, what the fuck are we thinking? We're not saving here at all. Is a fun twist. But it's the way they deal with the mist is pretty rough. I think they kind of blow their load on it a little too quick. There's like 4 guys who go to the back and they're looking at the generator. They're trying to reset it. And it's like a bunch of like redneck kind of like hickey guys.
They're like, you fancy college boy talking about Los Angeles, you talking down to me.
They're like, exactly, just because he's like, be careful, I think there's something in the mist. But they open up this little garage door, and before anyone can like go out and check out what's going on, that like just like 5 tentacle hands come out and start fucking with everyone inside.
I did want to say one thing about everybody. Like everyone seemed like on edge in the supermarket as soon as the mist
They're all
rolled in.
so mean to each other.
Yeah. Was it just that they were all like, I was a bit of an asshole when I lost power for like 3 days.
Right.
But like they seem like extra at you think that the mist has like is it supposed to have properties of just making people assholes, or is that just them?
I think that's just the screenplay.
Yeah, the screenplay tries to like paint it as only the speaking characters are like the locals, right? And like so they all have history with one another. But I feel like they don't play at that enough.
Not really.
And they also don't build up the debates going on within the supermarket very well. I feel like that's where the main lacking point of this film is that like there's just this weird cult lady who's saying evangelical stuff.
Look, I gotta say, that lady is spot on a customer you would have in a grocery store. I worked in a grocery store like this for 5 years, and we had a lady, she would come in, her dad was like a pastor or something. She'd always be like, my dad is the second coming. She was convinced that he was a prophet. She would always scream about the goddamn whores that are damning America, going to hell. And she would always like finish her sentences with, did you know that? Did you know that? She'd be like, well, yes, the rapture's coming and the goddamn whores are going to hell. Did you know that? And
wait,
like a couple of times I would have fun with, yeah.
No, that was what I was wanting to say. Yeah.
I would have fun with her sometimes, like when she would say, like, did you know that? Like, oh yeah, actually Cameron was just telling me about that. It's like we had a policy. They would tell the cashiers to just get her out as quickly as possible.
Right.
Sometimes if it was late at night, no one else was around, I'd just have fun with her.
Damn. I mean that sounds that is the thing. Yeah. You're right. Is there are people that are that annoying and awful to be around.
Yeah, I gotta say the actor's performance didn't seem committed. It seemed like they were like, oh, when's the check cleared?
Yeah. Definitely a tough role to play in a film like this.
I feel like you could have fun kind of ham it up, but she just seems bored. A lot of these actors seem like bored and mad.
Right. And like everything is like just kind of plainly lit. I mean, it's obviously, a grocery store, but it just feels kind of dry and dull. I don't think they're always doing as well of framing this place as they could, especially because they built this crazy ass set. Like they really should have. I don't know.
Do they know that grocery stores exist? Like they could just film in one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They needed absolute control of the set for the
fire,
the high stakes camera work and the effects. The seamless effects. You need total control of a set like this.
Well, I mean, if we're still shitting on it like that, one of the biggest issues with the first act is that it's all like character drama, but like you were saying, all the characters are super dry.
Right. Yeah, it's like every character only talks because they have a function at that moment in the screenplay. And then they kind of just disappear until they're needed again for a plot point.
Talk about a throwaway plot point was the military guy who had like a crush on the cashier. And it's like, why is that relevant to what's going on here?
Right. Well, and they literally introduce him and her. They get together in the back. They were like childhood,
sweethearts. Yeah.
Right. And then
if you say so,
she died in the next scene, and you realize, oh, we only met her because she was gonna die.
Yeah, it's like supposed to like create some kind of emotional response that like, nah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I do like. There's a bit where like Andre Braugher's character, he groups up with a couple other of like-minded people in the grocery store, and tries to leave and just see if there's anything out there, which is what our heroes end up doing and deciding is the right call. But at the time, they're like fully against. But it is like a nice, weird, yeah, there's a nice reflection of that later in the plot where it makes sense when the cult's coming after them. But
I really felt there was a missed opportunity to play that up for yucks. Because it's like it'd been really funny if they're like, all right, you guys are a bunch of stupid idiots, we're going out here, and then you just have their bodies like fly back at the glass, and you're like, oh, okay, that solidifies it. I don't know. I guess it's
I mean, I think we assume that they all died, but theoretically they could have ran into the military and
hell yeah, our boys,
been the one to say that there are people trapped in the supermarket. Yeah, I mean, we can. What do you guys? How do you guys feel about that third act? Getting out of the supermarket.
You're asking me to remember this.
Yeah,
I had to pull up my notes because you started talking. I was like, I know I watched this full movie and I don't remember shit from it.
Like when we say third act, do we mean like when they first venture outside of the store and they go to like this other store to find medicine?
I mean, that does happen. That's more second act, I guess. But that, please. That's they run into a bunch of spider kind of creatures in the in the store. They're looking for medical supplies to help the injured.
Which also, it's like, can't we go anywhere else except for a convenience store, guys? Please. I know it makes sense, but we keep shooting inside.
Where would you go if you were hiding from the mist?
I don't know. I'd try to go anywhere. I'd be one of those people that died immediately, but please,
Has anyone seen The Fog by John Carpenter?
I was supposed to, but I ignored to do so for your class.
Okay, well, it's pretty good actually. It's kind of a better take on this, that there's something in the fog that's coming to kill you. But one of the main characters hangs out in a lighthouse. So it's just kind of like peering above all the fog. That's kind of the coolest.
See, that's interesting and is something that someone would do if there was a giant fog around. It's a smart choice and interesting for a character, but we're watching The Mist and they don't do that.
No, in The Mist, in fact, like the people inside the grocery store are usually like they're acting dumber than NPCs in video games, right?
Yeah.
They're waving these fire sticks all around, trying to. God! Like you just know they're gonna catch this whole on fire.
Well, they also have a pitcher of oil that like they have a guy fall in too. It's like Jesus, people. We got the fire next to the oil in the one place we're safe.
Yeah, and then what? They like turn the insects are being attracted by the light, and
so they turn the lights on.
Full minutes.
God, this movie's so fucking stupid. Just as for describing it.
It's like turn on all the lights.
The bugs are coming in from the mist.
No, the bugs attract the bats, though. That's the real issue. The bats from the mist.
The bugs were cool. Everyone was fucking with the bugs. Apparently, it is messed up. Like like you see one of these bugs like. He bites the cheerleader or whatever that chick was.
I gotta be real. The second they show what's actually in the mist, this movie took a giant nosedive for me. It went from like, ooh, what's in the mist? Is it like turn your skin inside out? It's like, oh, it's just a tentacle monster, and it looks like shit. Oh, okay.
They showed their hand way too early in this one.
And they don't even have cards in their hands. It's like just a piece of poop that they have in their hands.
Exactly what I was getting at was like it instead of showing the tentacles, that guy should have just walked into the mist and then we never heard from him again, right? Like it should have used more mystery throughout this whole thing.
Mystery.
But unfortunately, it's just a lot of people trying to convince other people of stuff that the audience already knows about. Like there's something in the mist, please believe me.
Yeah, literally, Gabe and I were talking about this. They go back to the store after that scene with the boy and the tentacles, and they're like, no, seriously, there was a monster back there, and they didn't pick up the like tentacle to show me like, here is proof. They're just they're just cracking beers, being like, no, trust us. So there is a monster in the mist.
Everyone's calling them alcoholics.
Yeah, a bunch of rednecks with beards are like, I saw a down tentacle in there. It's like, who would believe him?
There's a really good. I do love though, like how David has the hicks against him, calling him like a Hollywood elite type stuff, and then suddenly they're on his side, and he's trying to convince Andre Braugher's character. And like he doesn't want to believe the Hicks because he has a bad history with them too. Like that was more of the type of community relations, that I wanted to see in this.
We also didn't mention that the tentacles dissolved for plot convenience too.
Right.
Where it's like they showed like 3 other people and then it dissolves and it's like, oh, that's nice.
Yep. It's unfortunate too because like I think Frank Darabont's other Stephen King like adaptations are pretty solid. I haven't seen Green Mile, but that has a good.
I love Green Mile. Yeah. That's a tearjerker for me.
Yeah, Shawshank's like the best movie of all time, according to IMDb.
I was gonna say your dad.
Yeah, if I had to pick the best movies of all time, they would be in order: Shawshank Redemption, Godfather Part 2, Joker,
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Is Forrest Gump on the top 250?
Oh, definitely.
It's on the 250 for sure. It might be top. Like
we did an episode on the 250 like way early on when we just didn't know how to do this. We're like, oh, let's just talk about this.
I think I listened to most of that.
That is the most like you have to be on a certain vibe to enjoy this.
Absolutely. I have not gone through the commentaries yet, but I will one day.
We really didn't go through the commentaries technically.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever like fully paid attention to a full movie. We would end up playing like Hangman or Go for a Walk. One of them we literally went for a walk.
Well, also every single one of our like tier list or like list readings was like you definitely have to be on a certain spectrum to enjoy those ones too.
Right. Yeah, let's see what else I got here. Yeah, I think we basically just have the ending.
Oh yeah, the fucking the top 10 twist endings of all time. Oh, yeah, crazy.
It really is. It feels like one of those nasty Stephen King endings just for the sake of being a nasty ending.
Well, he didn't even write the ending. They changed it for the movie.
Oh, really? What's the ending in the novel like?
I think it just like keeps going on. He just keeps walking around. I don't remember. Again, you're asking me to remember the Mist. I had colander brain while looking and researching this. It's like just strained right out.
Yeah, honestly, I looked like your background for at least half of the Mist.
Oh, I have the scene where he's about to shoot himself and he makes a really funny face. I wrote in my notes, good ending, I guess.
The twist ending is that he's got 4 bullets in his gun. There's 5 people in the car, and the car runs out of gas. They basically they get into the Mist, they get into this car, they take off, and they somehow avoid most of the monsters out there.
I feel like you could be able to just like put 2 people's head together, maybe save 1 bullet.
It's the Michael Scott like equation. Like you got Hitler in the room with like these other 2.
I literally like
White's like I line up all their heads and I like shoot through their necks.
This is like a good ending in like theory and like if you were describing it to a friend, but I don't think the movie really earned it, and I didn't care about any of the characters or even buy that they were real people.
Yeah,
I was like, that is not a grocery store worker. That is Bud Cort.
I also felt like the ending worked against like the character work. Like they built up all this courage to go out into the Mist and face the unknown, and see how far they could make it, and then they didn't get out of the car. Like I assumed they were all just gonna walk out of the car and face whatever eldritch horror awaited them,
face some tentacles.
Yeah, like but going out with like with some nobility, like on their own accord.
See, I knew this ending going in. I had forgotten it was for this movie, but I was like a nerdy film kid. I would watch top 10 twist endings of all time for movies I had not seen and just be like, wow, that's cool. And I remember reading this, be like, oh, that's such a dark ending. Like, oh, to think it's like a Twilight Zone ending, but then it's performed by Thomas Jane at the end of The Mist, so it stinks.
This really would have been a much better Twilight Zone episode. Chop off some of the fat,
Yeah, just like you never show what's in the Mist. People walk out, disappear. That's all you need. Your mind fills in the gaps. Once you know that it's tentacle monsters, you're like, okay, well, they just do tentacle monster stuff. And so
It's worse too because they don't show the tentacle monster again after the first bit. Like it's like the praying mantis-y thing.
Yeah, it's just like bugs and shit.
Or yeah. And the effects are really bad. Like they are just bad. Like Sunshine is really good with like model work. You know.
Oh my God, Sunshine is one of the best looking visual effects I've ever seen. It's embarrassing that The Mist came out the same year as Sunshine. They should be embarrassed.
So I think I read somewhere that they attempted to do practical effects, then did away with it at some point during production. Which, I mean, I get for the bugs and stuff, but like the tentacle would have been very like doable, I think, practically.
That makes a lot of sense. This screams like a rush job. And they probably did want it to be more like The Thing or another movie with solid practical effects. It's still before the studios rely on it too much.
What a shitty thing to do is to reference The Thing in your horror film and then to go all the CGI. It's like you can't like tip the hat to The Thing and then do.
It's a reference to the Thing remake.
Ah, I see. That makes perfect sense then.
Yeah.
Mist. I'm gonna read some of my notes I took just to make sure I get all of my Mist thoughts out there. I'm just gonna read through.
Yeah.
The Mist notes taken September 27th, 2023 at 3:16 p.m. I watched this movie in the afternoon. I need to get a life. This is a TNT movie, said that. None of these characters are real people. This CG looks dumb. This took a nosedive the second we see tentacles. There Will Be Blood came out this year. All of these actors seem like they didn't get enough sleep last night. He's got small feet, size 10 work boot, he says at one point. He's like this gruff guy, and he's like, my size 7.5. Everyone is so mean. The CG looks bad. This is truly some of the worst compositing I've ever seen. Juiceless. Lewis, I'm not sure I have much to say. Some of the practical stuff is cool. Stephen King doesn't paint a nice portrait of Maine. No Country for Old Men came out this year. Oh, and this is from the ending. At a certain point, I just stopped taking notes and just kind of stared at the screen.
Yep.
But then in the ending, this music feels racist. IDKY. Because the movie ends with he's like screaming, and then there's like,
yes, that's some Hans Zimmer on Dune shit.
Yeah. Tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. The only other note I have for I wrote down that there's a Wilhelm scream in here. Did you guys catch that?
Sure. I think I blocked that out somewhere. Yeah.
It was where I think when they're running out to the car in the third act, one of the guys who dies gets hit by like an insect. And like the third hit, it's a Wilhelm.
They couldn't even record a new scream, these fucking hacks.
No, I think there's something really interesting about a badly placed Wilhelm scream. Like the Indiana Jones, the new film, had one in the first like 10 minutes. And that's
Lewis, you saw the new Indiana Jones?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, guys. I told myself I was done watching bad movies this year, and I didn't go see The Flash, so I at least got that up on you guys.
I guess we're worse. We saw The Flash.
Wait, you did watch Wild Hogs this year, though, right?
And Norbit. I watched
Norbit. Yeah, this man's had a tough year.
It's been rough.
Lewis, you know that good movies came out this year, right? It's okay. You can cover them.
No. Why would I ever want to do that?
No, I just decided to watch one of the good ones, Oppenheimer, 6 times in a row to like clean his palate.
Yep.
Dude, that would leave me in a funk if I saw Oppenheimer that many times. I feel like I would just be depressed about the state of the world.
I think I was going through something and I didn't realize it because I was not watching many other movies at the time too. I'm like just popping in.
It became your comfort movie.
Yeah. Like at least the world was understandable back then.
Yeah. Duh, Mist.
I did want to mention Frank Darabont wrote the Blob remake, which I know you guys are covering later this month.
We're not doing the remake. We're just doing the OG.
The OG. Shit, my bad.
Yeah, so he didn't have shit to do with it.
The remake's probably not even on Criterion. It's probably a Vinegar Syndrome or something.
Should we watch it? Should I make you watch the remake too, Gabe?
The remake's really good. It's one of my favorite creature features.
Really?
which is surprising just because I feel like this doesn't work, and it could have the same structure as a creature feature.
Wow, I didn't realize there was that much to do with the Blob. I didn't realize it was that fertile story.
No. It's more about it has the right level of genre campiness.
Okay.
The characters are all memorable and have funny lines, and then the special effects and the killings are all really good too. Which is kind of like it's hard to hit all three of those things.
And the Mist hit none.
It wouldn't be too hard to do a compare contrast between the two.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to, so
yeah, okay, I'm all on board for that.
We could do it. It's just, our audience probably mostly hasn't seen either Blobs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's extra credit, it's like if you wanted to do the homework, but they're gonna have a good episode either way. And I should we could just lead this into, you guys are doing a whole month of horror films.
Hell yeah, baby. I mean, like, Criterion horror, so it's not like it's ultra scary. It's like what your RA might put on if you're in a film dorm, or like your friend who has a sweater that says Greta Gerwig is going to recommend to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you just did House, right? That's
we just recorded House on Monday.
Fuck yeah. I mean, that's a Criterion classic.
Yeah, that's like one of the top 10 just like Criterions.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the death threats from we're waiting for the death threats from the Swifties.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we spend, I would say, probably not enough time actually talking about House. We talked about Skibbity Toilet for a while. We did a deep dive on Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah. So Ellis derailed us with Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah, fucking Ellis. It wasn't me just throwing out topics every now and then, being like, "Hey, what can we make content out of?"
Yeah. Apparently, all the kids are going soft in the head watching Skibbity Toilet.
That's awesome. I mean, Skibbity Toilet would fit in the House from House, so that makes sense.
Yeah, artful movies. Also, I want to bump this movie down. It's not a TNT movie. It's a car dealership movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like you go to rent, you go to like buy a new car. Your kids have to sit in the little area where there's a TV on but no remote. That's the kind of movie that would play on it.
The whole point of a car station movie is to make you want to leave.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't a compliment.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's literally like negative energy, right? Like they're it's like you could put on Rio 2 or something in like a lobby.
Yeah.
I feel like car dealerships practice psychological warfare with their customers, where they're just like, yeah, we're gonna sit in this office for an hour and talk about like nothing and tell you that we can't, lower the price at all, and we're gonna make you watch this shit movie while we're doing it.
You're gonna be so desperate to leave and be done that you will just say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll get my.
And I was desperate to leave the Mist.
Weren't we all? Well, yeah. Thank you both for joining. Glad to get the Critericats on the pod here.
You got me to do it finally.
There we go.
That boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Lewis. I love being on your podcast and derailing it.
I'm glad to be on yours and derail yours as well. If you want to hear the ones I've been on over there, we did Legends of Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Yeah, something like that.
Before it was the Critericast, and then we did M as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on coming up on November. We're doing Noir-Vember.
Hell yeah. Look on out for that, everyone. I don't think there's many noirs in 07, so
if they do, they'd be like one of those neo-noir bullshit things. So we're doing like, it's got to be a guy with a hat on. That's the noir we're doing.
That is like the best genre around. Guy with hat.
Guy with hat and a gun. Every poster has to have a guy with a hat and a gun. Or we're not considering it.
AJ just summarized 1950 to 1960 pretty much.
Or
1960.
I'll if you've hide the body, baby.
Just hold my hat.
That was my noir guy.
I like doing the noir gangster. Nah, she.
All right.
With the fishes.
Yeah, there's my racket, see? Keep your greasy mitts to yourself, you mug.
I
This
heard
is
an
the kind of
insane-
banshee you can expect if you listen
Yeah.
to Critericast.
No, I heard an insane theory that the mask was a neo noir.
Get
Oh
the
my
fuck out!
Yeah,
Stop.
I know, right?
It could be though.
It kind of does play with those tropes, but no,
Somebody stop me. Is that the mask or is that something else?
that's a mask.
Smoking is the mask. Smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah, I've
Sorry.
long said I want a GTA game with Jim Carrey's The Mask as the main character.
Ooh,
Oh.
I-
Oh golly.
Just think about it.
I'm down. I'd play it. I play that mod.
All right. Well, I think that's the end, right? I think-
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain has turned to mist.
Damn.
Do you have a send off line? I don't remember.
No, not really. I mean, I just try to end on a laugh or like something.
Stay cool, Cinema Span. Keep
Yeah.
on spanning.
Keep on spanning.
Yeah. And don't forget to support your local movie theater.
Truly.
Unless it's a Marcus Theater, in which case, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck a Marcus Theater.
Yeah.
Is that local to you? Is that a chain?
Yeah, that's a Midwest
Yeah.
one. We have a long riff. Look up Greg Marcus or like Marcus Theater. This dude
Or
fucking
don't.
sucks.
You don't have to do that. Just don't.
It's this guy who owns these movie theaters, and every single movie he comes on does a little message before, and he's just like the least charismatic, dopey guy. He's
Yeah.
like, "Thank you for coming to the movie. I think we can all agree that the best part of the movie is eating
wait.
popcorn."
He's like a goblin personified. He is the archetypical goblin.
People boo when he comes on. Like at the theater, people will boo.
The
Yeah.
opposite of the AMC, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I actually love going to Marcus theaters just so I can boo at him at the beginning of every film.
Yeah. And he just has his stupid family on the ads too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
pulled up his Twitter and his avatar is like a Bitmoji with the word respect.
Fuck this dude. I hate Greg Marcus so much.